Mrs. Miller, thank you so much for seeing me today. It's lovely to see you.
I'm so happy you came to visit on this beautiful day. My goodness, though, you had a long trip to get out here, and I've been very lonely, so I'm very thankful that you came.
Well, I wanted to talk to you, ask you questions about a contagious outbreak that you've been through. Can you share with me a little bit more about that?
I'm pretty certain you've heard about it. It was last year in 1903. Smallpox broke out in Prineville. They had, the day it started, obviously with one case, by the end of the week, they had over 300 cases. It was quite frightening.
That happened fast. What happened next?
Well, some doctors, or I should say some people, were laughing at doctors because they didn't think doctors knew anything. So they just laughed the whole thing off. Well, that didn't go over very well because by the end of the week, they had over 300 cases and people had yellow flags hanging on their house if they had the disease.
Now, I've heard that there was a vaccine for the smallpox. Is that true?
Yes, there is. Actually, that Prineville had so many cases by the end of the week, they actually turned their fairgrounds into a pest house. And that is where doctors and nurses came from Portland, and they were treating the sick. And with them, they brought vaccines.
How else did it change your day-to-day life at the ranch?
Well, my day-to-day life in this beautiful open sky isn't quite so, shall I say, frightening, but I wouldn't consider even going into Prineville. Have you heard about Mr. Poindexter?
No.
He owns the Poindexter Hotel in Prineville. And oh my goodness, he refused to quarantine. So next day, they took Mr. Poindexter, locked him right up into jail, and quarantined his whole hotel. So that didn't directly affect me, but that was just kind of the atmosphere of what was going on in Prineville. Mm-hmm. They were quarantining the mail in the post office. They were worried about dogs, that they were carrying the virus. So it was quite a scare.
Were you doing anything at the ranch to prepare?
Well, I was, but I'm going to let you decide how if I was stressed about this or not, because I feel like I stayed calm, but some people might think differently. Maybe in a minute you could come help me.
I'd love
and you could be the judge of that.
I would love to see how you prepared for the outbreak.